Yeah. What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to your daily dose of Manchester United news, your shenanigans, your therapy, your whatever's going on. Smash a like on the video. Welcome, everyone. Look at this. Bang on time as well. Look at this. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is now.
Yeah.
Gremlins are gone.
Oh, why do you say these things this early?
I think Gremlins are gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't like tempting fate this early on in the morning. But as you mentioned, Fleck, there is so much. Do you know what? I think I call you Fleck more often than I call you Flex now.
I know, it's such a thing. Loads of people do it, and it's like
and it's not even on stream as well.
No.
I do it all the time.
I know. Like KG will ring me. He literally answers the phone. Fleck.
Yeah.
That's how he answers the phone.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yes, but there is plenty going on this morning in the world of Manchester United, largely dominated by one Cristiano Ronaldo, of course. We're going to talk about his future, heading to Chelsea, rumours of Barcelona. Ronaldo to Barcelona. We're going to debunk that this morning as well. We're going to talk about Ronaldo not returning to training today, tomorrow, this week, if ever, because he's been given an indefinite leave of absence. We're going to talk about Tour and Frenkie de Jong. Is he going to be on it as well? There is so much to get into, isn't there?
There's loads. I feel like it's going to be a jam-packed show as per usual. And to be honest, I know it's the first topic anyway, so we're there. This Ronaldo thing, it's just going to take... I'm a bit more annoyed now. Now I've like slept on it more. Like I said, the thing about the family, I'm not going to change my stance on that, because when somebody mentions their family, okay, cool, it's almost like a little bit of a back off. There could be something in the background. But if I just take that out of it and focus on the football situation, it's pretty shit. It's pretty shit. Not that I'm surprised, but just the timing of it, man. The timing, like, we're just about to go on tour. And there's no way that Ronaldo didn't understand that we weren't in the Champions League before May the 22nd, before we got our asses kicked by Crystal Palace. We knew that.
Yeah, and
we knew we couldn't get Champions League.
Signings, you know, we can talk about...
It's from April.
He gave United the benefit of the doubt when it came to June, but United's issues were never, ever, ever going to get resolved in one calendar month. Now, granted, he could have said, maybe I expected to see more in June, maybe, and maybe that's fair, but certainly United was never going to get resolved when it came to June. But should we get into the developments?
Yeah, let's start, because I've got a lot to say.
Yes.
We've got to talk a lot
So
today.
there is a lot to get into here when it comes to Cristiano Ronaldo, so bear with us here, because there's lots of different stories. Now, the big one yesterday, we'll start yesterday and try and do this in a bit of a linear chronological order here, came from David Ornstein. It was an Ornstein exclusive. It's early, but we're still watching Ornhub, because Chelsea are considering Cristiano Ronaldo's a move for Cristiano Ronaldo. Manchester United say that he's currently not for sale. Chelsea are monitoring and not ruling out. Now, the George Mendes talks continue, with Chelsea figures such as Todd Boehly intrigued by the idea, but there is a little bit maybe of a standoff between the owner and the manager of Chelsea, because Thomas Tuchel admires Ronaldo, but it's unclear if he would approve the move, considering it's very short term for them. Yes, they've just lost Lukaku, but they're not really... Are they in the position where they're looking for a striker for 1 year, possibly 2 years? So they're trying to find the next striker that's going to be at Chelsea for 5-10 years. But when it comes to Ronaldo at Manchester United, when is he going to be returning to training? In the last couple of minutes or so, the Telegraph is reporting that Cristiano Ronaldo has been given a, quote, indefinite leave by Manchester United after missing training yesterday for family reasons. Ornstein also tweeted this morning that Ronaldo is not expected to attend Manchester United training, pre-season training, obviously today for a second consecutive day, citing family reasons. But when it comes to Ronaldo on tour, the tour of Australia and Thailand, it's currently unclear if Ronaldo will return, or if and when he will return, and if he's even going to be heading on this tour to Thailand and Australia. Of course, the squad takes off on Friday for that tour. Now, some other details regarding Cristiano Ronaldo's future. This comes from Chris Wheeler from the Daily Mail. It is saying that sources said the circumstances surrounding Ronaldo's absence mean Manchester United don't know when he will return, or even if he's going to be going on tour to Thailand and Australia with the rest of the squad. When it comes to the Chelsea bid, Todd Boehly is understood to be considering this bid for Ronaldo, though Chelsea head coach Thomas Tuchel is thought to have reservations about signing him. And I guess quite importantly, it is thought that Ronaldo remains a fullback option, not fullback.
We're going to play him right back.
Yeah, he's going to be, wow, you know what I mean? FA double out, a fullback option for Chelsea, even if Manchester United can be brought to the table. Napoli are the other club considering a move for Ronaldo after Bayern Munich showed little interest. Flex, after all of that.
That's a lot.
After all of that.
Yeah.
One, I guess, do you think he's going to be on the plane on Friday? I think that's an easy answer, to be honest.
Yeah.
And two, do you think he'll ever return to Manchester United training?
Okay, so I'm gonna take three.
I've given you an
there.
easy one, and I'd have given you a difficult one.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna talk about the Chelsea bit.
Yeah,
like what that looks like, and Tuchel deciding whether that's gonna be for him. I think that's really interesting. The first thing is in my opinion, he ain't going on tour. He ain't going on
At
tour.
all.
No, I think when you look at the Telegraph as well, I think the way this is being framed and the way this is being worded from the club, because it is about PR. Like, I know we use the word PR as like, oh, it's always spin and stuff, but PR is an actual thing. Like
Public relations.
It's a department of, like, you need it in every big organization.
Yep.
It's part of it. And the PR has to PR right now because I think what's happened is, again, the family thing is the family thing, but I think he's trying to engineer a move. He's trying to sort out a move. And it seems like, from the outside looking in, and I'll stand to be corrected if I ever see anything other confirmed like this, but it seems like the family thing is an easy way to kind of just calm everything down, potentially. Because if you look at it, I was reading as well about the knock-on effect economically.
Yep. So it says here, Laurie Whitwell, it says that many people around the club are wondering if Ronaldo will board the tour flight and beyond to Australia, which would be a significant commercial blow to the organisers of the friendlies. That comes from The Athletic. Sponsors will have banked on Ronaldo's presence, and usually there are financial penalties in tour contracts for a club failing to send all major first teamers, although family reasons should constitute as a fair mitigating factor.
Right, so these are the things you've got to break down. These are the things that, again, as fans, we maybe don't understand the actual kind of mechanics of how these things work. But as I think you ain't got to be a rocket scientist to work out events companies pay a hell of a lot of money to host Manchester United. That's why Manchester United go to the Far East. One, to appease the fans out there, which is fantastic, by the way. But secondly, to generate record incomes because we're a massive club. Part of that is, well, it's not a World Cup summer.
Yeah.
It's not. So all the main players should be there, especially the most sellable player, the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo. Could you imagine the scenes in China, in Shanghai, that's what it was last time. Can you imagine the scenes in Thailand, in Australia, when Ronaldo's there? It's going to be absolute carnage. And that is a massive selling point for people buying tickets out there, etc., etc. So Manchester United probably want to protect themselves from having to lose a lot of money or get fined by these sponsors. That is a real thing. You can call it Glazers or PR or whatever. It's just a real thing, regardless of whether the Glazers were there or not. Even if it was a well-run club, that would be the case. Because Man United have to go on tour. Roy Keane, he probably went to Malaysia and bloody China and everywhere. That's what's always been happening because Man United is the biggest club in the world. So that side of it, I feel like what we're now seeing is, when we're seeing the Telegraph reporting that he's been given indefinite leave, it's like,
maybe there is something to it, the family side
maybe
of things.
Maybe there is something to it. So, but what is definitely, in my mind, clear is that he's trying to find somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Mendes is out there trying to secure something. And now let's move on to that Chelsea thing. Like you said, Todd Boehly, is it Todd or Todd? Is it Ted or Todd?
Todd.
It's Todd, isn't it? Todd Boehly. He has just got this massive football club. He wants to make a statement. It looks like they're going to lose out to Barcelona for Rafinha, which might not be embarrassing, but it's just the first little knockdown.
Yeah.
How can I make a statement? I'll sign Ronaldo. But then you're asking, Thomas Tuchel to veto that and to give his opinion as to whether he wants to take that squad in his direction. Does Todd Boehly want to upset the apple cart? They've just had £100 million worth of Lukaku come in and embarrass them for a short-term fix. Do they go for another short-term fix in Ronaldo? I'm not so sure, but there's a few places Ronaldo could actually feasibly go. I know we're going to talk a little bit about Barcelona as well, but the Chelsea move, to me, I'm like, well, they're not going to win the Premier League. They're not.
And to be fair, I said that yesterday, didn't I? I said, if you're going to go for trophies or whatever, going to Chelsea, like I would feel at this stage in his career, this is why I said Bayern Munich made the most sense, but you could say the thing that makes the least sense about Bayern Munich is that Bayern aren't interested. So that's why it feels a bit off the table. Yeah. That one made sense to me because he would go there, he would win the league, he could possibly win the Champions League, he'll be centre of attention, he'll score 30 goals in the Bundesliga, and everyone raves about Ronaldo. One last Ballon d'Or for CR7. That's what they'd be talking about. The Chelsea move, as a United fan, like, obviously they're not a direct rival in terms of location, like City or Liverpool, but that would still really hurt. That is him saying, I value Champions League football over my legacy at the club. You can't, we're talking about if he leaves now, is his legacy going to be tainted? If he goes to another Premier League club, it certainly would be. I think it has to be, going to a club like Chelsea, especially of the reasons of, look, I just want to play Champions League football, so I'm off to go to play for Chelsea. And I'm not saying that Todd Boehly knows nothing about football, because that's not fair, but I feel like it's a situation whereby this guy's just spent a heck of a lot of money. I know it was a consortium, but a heck of a lot of money buying a football club. And his perspective is, I'm going to go out there. My first big statement signing at Chelsea is buying one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player of all time, from a Premier League club. There you go, Cristiano Ronaldo. And Thomas Tuchel's a bit like, he's 37. Like, as a United fan, I want us to keep Ronaldo, and I think he, because I still think he's got something to offer. Last season was proof of that. But from a Chelsea perspective, they're in a way different position than we are. They're not in the position where they're going, well, we're starting a rebuild. They're still competing in the Champions League or what have you. So Thomas Tuchel would be well within his rights to be like, actually,
it's not for me.
It's a short-term thing. We shouldn't be looking that short-term.
Yeah, it's only going to become Chelsea's problem in 12 months.
Yeah,
like, it won't be a big problem at the beginning because you get the excitement, you get the initial bounce, and he scores goals. He will score goals at Chelsea.
But could it be
if they don't have a good season, and
where Todd Boehly just says, if Thomas Tuchel goes, I don't think he's what we should be going for. Could we be looking at a situation where Todd Boehly goes, tough shit, basically?
Well, it depends if he wants to go down that route. He's going to piss off Thomas Tuchel straight away, and we don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't sit here and say Todd Boehly's not going to do that, or Todd Boehly will do that. I don't know how he's going to run that football club.
No, we don't. And he's taken over not just the reins of owning the club, he's taken over the reins of everything. Czech's gone. The other directors are gone. Everyone involved in transfers are gone. He's like, changing it. I'm in charge.
And he went straight for Rafinha. It didn't look like it worked. He's going to look for something else. He's in charge. Exactly. So that ambiguity of how, that uncertainty of what they're going to do. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I ain't got a clue.
No, I don't know.
And I haven't spent time doing due diligence to see what he's going to do. We worry about our own shit.
Yeah.
So you can't rule it out. You definitely can't. That's why when I hear it, I won't say complete nonsense, because there's reasons from outside looking in, because we're not specialists on Chelsea, there's reasons where you could see that he would try and do that. But there's also reasons if Tuchel is the meticulous manager that he is and quite a good planner and has been absolutely burnt by that Lukaku situation, because I don't even think that was his signing in the first place.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I think he just kind of was told that's just what we're doing.
Yeah.
I feel like he wasn't in control of that. So he will want to probably be in control of this next move, because Chelsea can't afford to get it wrong again.
Do you think it hurts his legacy if he goes to Chelsea, his United legacy?
A little bit, yeah.
I think it has to.
I
think it has to. And the circumstances of him, bear in mind, this is a move he would be forcing through.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. I think you can't. But then I'm like, I'll be honest. There's a side to Cristiano Ronaldo that we do have to remember as fans.
Yeah, and I know you're saying.
So I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying like, don't worry about it, because I do agree. But then I'm like, but you know what? I have to remember that he's always capable of doing that.
What do you weigh up more? Do you weigh up more of, you were saying before, like, you can't keep the player, especially Ronaldo, you can't just keep him when he wants to go.
No.
Versus, do you give him to Chelsea? Because that's what we would be doing here.
Yeah. I'd let him go to Chelsea. I would.
Really?
I don't care who he goes to. It's got to the point, honestly, I care about Man United first. And don't get me wrong, you could say, well, you're going to strengthen Chelsea. It's going to be even harder to get in the top four. Yes, it would. But I'm being honest. Keeping an unhappy Ronaldo, in my opinion, could be the most toxic thing ever.
What if Chelsea put in a bid of 20 million for Ronaldo versus Napoli on a free?
Oh, so I'd rather him go Napoli. Yeah, if I could dictate where he goes.
Yeah.
But I'm saying making him stay because Chelsea are the ones who are showing interest. it's Chelsea or you stay because we're not selling you Chelsea, more fool us. More, because if you think about it, let's take the Ronaldo sentiment out of it. How many times are we going to either hold a player against their will or create situations that can be alleviated within our football club? I get it. We're a worse team without Ronaldo. Some may say we're a better team because the team might do X, Y, Z. But I mean, in terms of a player like Ronaldo, let's not get it twisted. He still levels.
Yeah.
Okay?
Last season proved it.
Last season he proved it. Now, there is always an argument that if he isn't there this year, the goals could get spread out. It'll be a little bit more relaxed. Take out the fact that we're saying, oh, those boys who ain't achieved anything, their standards are low, they want him to go to be liberated. I don't mean that. I mean strictly football.
Yeah.
Like Ten Hag, I believe, in the long term, because Ronaldo's not a long-termism, is he?
No.
He wants to go in a different direction with a young striker, mobile, playing a different way.
And we could be having this conversation this time next season.
Yeah, absolutely. But the only reason why I'm coming around to that is because Ronaldo has actually now said he wants to go. That changes everything. That means get rid of your plans of what you was going to do. Don't try and convince him. There's a spanner in the works. We're in the shit, and we're going to have to be in the shit if he leaves. But it's better to be in that shit of him leaving and we don't really have a replacement, etc., than making him stay. I guarantee that. I guarantee it.
I do think United fans perceive him considerably differently if he forces through a move to Chelsea, though.
Yes.
Because they can't.
Yes.
That would be... like from the reports that we've seen, like United obviously insist he's not for sale. They don't want to sell him. I think the general perception is we were saying he's gone. I think he's gone. I think he will leave at this point. I don't know if he'll ever come back to training. I think we might have seen the last time he's going to wear a Manchester United shirt.
I don't think he's ever coming back. I don't
think he'll, I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. But if it's to be like, yeah, because it's ambition and blah, 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 and I go to Chelsea, like you said, like realistically, and maybe this will get clipped and we could be massively wrong here, but you won't say Chelsea are favourites to win the league this season.
No.
Champions League, you never know. I know they won it a couple of years ago.
Chelsea got to rebuild.
But
Chelsea could actually have a really shit season.
But again, you would say like just going to another Premier League club that would hurt. Because how in the mud would we be? Let's face it. We went in for Ronaldo. We got sped up in that deal because City went for him. City can say no, we didn't go for him. They went for him. United saw that. They had all of these ex-players reaching out to Ronaldo and Manchester United. That can't happen. Rio Ferdinand, you can't do it. You taint your legacy, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
We got him. How in the mud would we be if less than a year later, he's still in England, but he's at another club?
Yeah, it's more mud, 100%.
How ridiculous
But
is that for Manchester United?
Here's the thing, though. I'm so used to being in the mud that I'll take another bath in the mud to get rid of it. Like, I would. Like, I'm so, and this is where I'm so focused on making sure. I'm not even
confident if he goes to Chelsea, he will do well. I'm not sure.
You're not confident he will?
No, he will do well.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying he's going to win stuff, but
I actually don't care. Like, I'm actually being serious there. I know it will hurt a bit in the short term, but in the long term, I'm so focused on our new manager and a new way forward. Actually, in some ways, it could actually be a blessing in disguise to just get this done. Just get it. Do you know what, Ronaldo? If you want to go Chelsea, cool. Chelsea, just give my 25 million plus Kante. Yeah.
No, I'd take that off. I would take that off.
Give me something where I get Kante.
At least something. At least something.
Nah, but even away from that, because I'm being hypothetical, but I'm serious. Like, I'm like I'll take the short-term pain again because I'm under no illusions of this rebuild, that this rebuild's going to be tough. Do you know what I mean? And eventually Ronaldo's going to have to go. Now, I was always banging the drum that Ten Hag needs constance. Hence why I didn't think there would ever be a situation where Ten Hag would come in and say, want a new striker, don't want to play him. As long as Ronaldo wants to stay.
Yeah, and he didn't want that.
Exactly. And he didn't want that. Looking forward to working with him. He gives him goals, he said.
Yeah.
So, but now this is what Ronaldo can do. Let's get some super chats out and some of the members as well, new members as well. Meza Million says, I can see Ronaldo Ziyech swap deal. KMT, I'm stressed. Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. No, I hope that I don't want Ziyech.
I saw someone saying with Ziyech that Ziyech owes half of his wages to a cameraman. Because you know that famous pass he does when he's playing for Ajax?
Yeah, and he's
the crossfield pass. And someone went, it's a good pass, but cameraman's done a great job.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
He's done a great job.
Michael Cody says the best thing United can do now is not stand in the way and allow Mendes to get him moved on, be it Chelsea or wherever. Let him go and move on. That's where I'm at already. And this is only the second day he's not at training, because all this is going to do is overshadow everything, take the gloss off new signings, take the gloss away from a new exciting manager. It just overshadows everything, because that's what Ronaldo does, because he's Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And as soon as we signed him, we had to admit that we weren't ready to discuss it then, because we was in the emotional, romantic side of it. Whenever it's time for him to leave, is always Juventus fans experience this. They're probably laughing at us saying we had this. Do you know what I mean?
But would Juventus let him go to AC Milan?
AC Milan, exactly. But then what? He cleared out his locker, said he's leaving, so they wouldn't have had a choice. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ronaldo was just too powerful. It's sad that a player is like that, but when you are Ronaldo, this is the downside of it.
Yeah.
Innit? WJ Barrett says, I am positive that clause would be in his contract. What? He can't go to another Premier League club? You're positive that? Okay, fair enough. I think we've got a Chelsea fan here. Ryan says, scenes when he scores at Old Trafford, 90th minute. Chelsea fans, if any of you guys are watching, let us know. Would you want Ronaldo? Might give Rory a call, actually.
Maybe.
See what he thinks.
Yeah.
He loves Ronaldo. Darren Hendricks, latest member of United View Members Club. Big up to you, Darren. Zayn Miassi is back. Flex, no one wants to come to you. Just got Eriksen and Malacia. About to get De Jong. But no one wants to come to you. You just missed out on Rafinha. And you're going to lose out on Martinez to us. If Chelsea get Neymar and Ronaldo, London will stay blue. So it's not red as well. It's not Arsenal. Just like Manchester. Big up Zayn. Always in the car.
Yeah, it's a weird self-own, that one, towards the end, isn't it? London will stay blue, just like it is Manchester. So as an
you're happy
Arsenal
to be
fan,
shit like us.
You're admitting that London is not red.
Honestly.
That was a strange...
It's Zayn, though, isn't it?
That was a strange...
It's Zayn.
It was a little bit of your shit, we're shit, your shit.
Yeah, but you can't laugh at us. Just say we're both shit then.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me go. Man like Eric, thanks for the super chat. Eric says, Ronaldo waited for some ambition and we bought a backup left back and a free transfer. Would you go back to work with that, honestly? I'll be honest, Eric, I'm not buying that.
Well, and also...
I don't buy the whole, what did he expect? What did Ronaldo expect us to do in June? Get the 5 players straight away.
And I would also say, when you say,
that's a let-off.
When you say, would you go back to work with that? If I was under contract,
yes,
because that is my job.
Yeah, listen, Ronaldo leaving because of what happened last season, that he's not going to be in the Champions League, fine. But the bit about showing ambition, well, there's still 2 months left.
It was reported yesterday, Samuel Lucas, Manchester United intend to have 5 signings by the end of tour.
So, if you're saying that, then if we would have got to September the 2nd when the window shuts and it was a shit window.
If we get to September 2nd and we've signed Malacia and Eriksen, I'm with you. I'll go, what on earth has happened there? But
and Ronaldo's thing is, well, what is that intent? Because what we're going to do? Go and get Cruz for the last year of his thing?
And
we're not going to go and sign world-class players. We know that we're in a different position to build.
And also, let's be honest, those 5 players that we sign, that hopefully will be in by the end of the window, who knows if they will be, but even with those 5 players, we're still not winning the league.
No.
We're not competing for trophies. Maybe the Europa League. Maybe.
Exactly.
That's it. We have to really recognise that,
and that's the premise of what Ronaldo should leave on. I don't believe this thing. I don't get this thing of, we haven't shown Ronaldo enough within the month of June, so he's gone. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That, to me, personally, in my opinion, I believe that's bullshit. What we haven't shown Ronaldo is enough over the year he's been here. Hence, we finished 6th. Hence, is our worst points return. Hence, we were barely in the Europa League. Hence, we was out in all the domestic cups in the first round. That's the reason he's leaving. Not because in June we didn't sign 6 players and 6 of them are world class.
Yeah,
because that was never going to happen anyway.
Yeah, I don't buy into that, because again, I would say, what did you want? What did you expect? What did you expect?
But he's smart enough to that. He wouldn't have expected that. Yeah. If he uses that as a thing, that's a cop out. Because even fans who were getting angry, there was this big thing about, it's June and we didn't sign anyone. I don't care if by August we got 5.
I subscribe more to, we're not in the Champions League and we're rubbish.
That's the thing. That's the key.
It.
That's the key. Let's fly through the rest of these. Craig McKinnon says, Ronaldo, Kante, straight swap could help us.
I mean, yeah, but I would be shocked if we managed to pull off that deal. Could you imagine Thomas Tuchel of I'm on the fence about Ronaldo anyway. He really likes Kante.
Yeah, it's never going to happen.
We get a straight swap. I mean, that would be... I don't know about you, Flex. I'm tired of hearing Murto badness.
Yeah. Big up Azar. He said, your mum is bullshit, Flex.
mean, he's got you.
Big up Azar.
Yeah.
Old school mum jokes. Big up. Big up to you. Don't even block Azar. Let him just be in there. It's sad. I let people like that be in chat. Let them be free. They need to find themselves.
It's bullshit.
Your mum's bullshit.
Bullshit. That's
Big up Azar.
straight off the street.
Oh, 100%. Zayn Miassi says, Flex, we now have Jesus, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe. All you have is Martial and Rashford. Okay, fair enough, Zayn. We'll see how it pans out. And Ryan says, Neymar, Ronaldo, Sterling, we're winning the league.
They getting Neymar? I heard the reason the whole Neymar thing, because of like he's been shopped around, they think, is because his contract is something like he's on this astronomical wage, and if he doesn't get anyone purchasing him by the end of the summer or by a certain date, it basically rolls over for like another 3 years or something ridiculous. And PSG are like, even PSG are like, that's a lot of money. Yeah, basically. Yeah, would you take him at United?
Neymar?
Yeah.
No. Not for where we need to be. Like, you can look at it for the individual and say, you dumb, what, you'd rather have Rashford than Neymar. I get that.
I said the same thing the other day, and I got shit for it being like, well, you say Neymar's rubbish.
No,
never said that.
I'm saying it's not right for us. It's falling into the same trap of saying, what, you wouldn't take Ronaldo when we did, and we took him, but it hasn't excelled us over that because we need more.
2 years ago, we'd have done it.
Yeah.
3 years ago, we'd have done it. Like under Ed Woodward, he would be like, oh, you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Neymar, think of the shirts.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
He'd be thinking that. But
it's not the right for this dressing room and for what Ten Hag wants to build, and having someone again who would come in and be bigger than the manager.
Yeah.
Like, not that he should be, but if Neymar arrived here, it's a Ronaldo-esque figure. It's a Paul Pogba-esque. We don't need the superstars anymore. We're done with that. This isn't FIFA. We've got to come away from that.
Yeah,
we
I
need
agree.
the Malacias. We need the smart Frenkie de Jongs and Marti. We need those types of players to build. And then once we get a settled squad within the next 18 months or 4 transfer windows, then you can say, right, let's sprinkle a superstar on this now. We've got a really good, well-oiled machine, a really good team. We can put a couple of superstars in there. But we're miles off that. We've been doing the superstar thing. I wanted to take another one. Where has it gone? It was an interesting thing. I like comments that don't necessarily agree with what we're saying. There you go. It's Otis. Otis says, I used to like this show. Now it's just a narrative to get him out of the club. Are you going to adore Maguire next?
No. No. What I said earlier, what was the guy's name?
Otis.
Yeah,
big up Otis.
Big up Otis. I said earlier on, in my ideal scenario, Cristiano Ronaldo stays at the club. But that ideal scenario involves him being happy and wanting to play for Manchester United.
Yeah.
Ultimately, and I think this is where Manchester United and the Glazers and everyone at the club looks at it as, he still does have a year left on his contract. So United probably realise they're not in the most powerful position of he's Cristiano Ronaldo, he does what he wants. But they're thinking of like, look, someone still has to buy you out of your contract. We've got some kind of power. We've got some kind of leverage. I just think at this stage, it's fairly clear that he's made his mind up on this situation. And Ronaldo isn't one to be persuaded, is he? In terms of once he's made his mind up, I think. My big thing would be, okay, let him go. But it would really hurt to see him go to an English club in the Premier League. I can't wrap my head around that one.
Yeah. I think this is to Otis as well. It's not about a narrative of getting him out of the club. Ronaldo set up his own narrative to get out of the club. He wants to leave.
Yeah, and also as well.
This isn't like there's been no news about this, and then we've gone, do you know what? Be good if Ronaldo leaves. Let's start pushing that agenda.
Before all of this,
he wants out, fella.
Before all of this was saying make Ronaldo captain. He was my choice to be captain this season, and not Harry Maguire. He shouldn't be captain. So I don't think it's a case of you're choosing Maguire over Ronaldo or anything like that. Not at all. I think this is a player that clearly wants to leave and has made his mind up, and a very powerful player in that. Yeah,
exactly. A few people in the chat. I mean, it's quite mixed in the chat. Someone just said you're allowing the Ronnie to leave agenda or narrative, but like, we haven't created that. Ronaldo has created that. Can I just get this? this is a real thing that Ronaldo wants to leave. It's not a made-up thing.
No, and it's his.
He wants out.
It's his agent George Mendes going to Chelsea, going to Napoli, going to Bayern Munich, going to all of these clubs. Going, would you be interested in signing Cristiano Ronaldo this summer? It's David Ornstein saying Cristiano Ronaldo wants to leave this summer. It's Fabrizio Romano saying Cristiano Ronaldo wants to leave Manchester United this summer. It's Ornstein saying there have been meetings between George Mendes and Chelsea. It's Ronaldo's not turned up to training.
No, I think there's a little bit of trolling in the comments.
Family reasons, but also it's a case of, I don't think it's agenda-driven, certainly. I mean, some people can say that he's leaving because of the Glazers and their incompetence and their, ineptitude at leading Manchester United. And maybe that's true. Yeah. It must have been the biggest culture shock for Cristiano Ronaldo over the last 12 months because in his head, he's seen how United have fallen over the last decade or so since he left. When he came back, he probably thought he was still coming back to something that resembled the Manchester United that he knew. And when he walked through those doors, he went, from the outside looking in, it looks like the same house, but this house is completely fallen apart here.
Yeah.
And think of that culture shock.
Yeah.
And he loves Manchester United, loves the fans. It must really hurt him as well. And maybe that's also why he wants to leave. I just can't take this anymore. I've just got to get out of here.
100%. Someone said, you man are getting sucked into the trolls today. Laugh my ass off, said Ed T. But then someone else said, the comments aren't trolls, Flex. This is just what you get with the cult of Ronaldo. So very, very mixed in there. But anyway, on that note, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We've got about 2,000 people watching. Nowhere near 500 likes.
Oh, dear.
Nowhere near 500 likes. So can you lot get onto that, please? Because, that is the house rules. WJ Barrett, thanks for Super Chat, says, I meant no Champions League clause and he's off. Okay, so it wasn't the other thing we said. It was more if he's not in the Champions League, he can get out.
Yeah.
Let's move on. What we got?
We're going to talk a little bit about Frenkie de Jong and another player that probably isn't going to be on Manchester United's tour, at least in the immediate future, is the Barcelona midfielder, hopefully future Manchester United midfielder. It's been reported by Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic that the pursuit of Frenkie de Jong is a little farther off possible completion. It's not thought an agreement will be reached in time for takeoff on Friday, but he could join up later if a breakthrough occurs. So there is a delay to this deal, and the delay isn't necessarily personal terms or the fact that de Jong doesn't want to join Manchester United or anything like that. The delay is these add-ons. This initial fee of, was it 65 million euros, 56 million pounds. There's this broad agreement, but the add-ons bring up the deal to around 80 to 85 million euros. The structure of them hasn't yet been officially agreed, hence the issues. Personal terms haven't even actually been discussed yet. And look, this one is, this was going to be the one that we said was going to be the one transfer saga of the summer. And now we've got another one inside the club in Cristiano Ronaldo. But I can't lie, Flex. I still do think we're going to sign Frenkie de Jong. I don't subscribe to the people who are saying, well, he's going to take a massive pay cut and he's going to stay at Barcelona. I think that's all posturing from Laporte of basically being like, he's trying to save face
100%.
Of when de Jong does leave, he's going to say, well, we said you could take a pay cut and he decided not to take that pay cut.
We tried everything, but it wasn't enough.
So he wanted to leave and blah, blah, blah. I think that's my personal belief on it. But I would say this one does feel like...
yeah, it's dragging on.
Because this time last week it'll be by tour.
Yeah.
Now it's like, wow, not by tour.
It's dragging on. But I think the important thing here, guys, to remember is, right, and this is my opinion. You make your own mind up. But my opinion is this, what I think is important. Don't let the media make you believe that the reason why it's taking long is because de Jong is still not sure whether he wants to come to Manchester United. That thing has passed. I still see like a lot of people saying we need to move on from him. He's got us hanging on a string and he's taking us for a ride. Why do we want players who don't want to come here? And I keep questioning that. I had a chat with a friend, really good friend of mine yesterday, because he was like, yeah, de Jong can get to F. Like, he was like, yeah, no. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, don't want to come here and all this and stuff like that. And I said, the narrative that's been put to a lot of people is that the reason this deal's taking long is because we're like, say you're de Jong, made your mind up yet? You sure? Yeah. No, we've agreed a base fee. Like you said, the add-ons are very complex, and the information we got last week here at the channel was that Man United are comfortable with that price, but there were still a lot of complexities with that deal. And actually, people call people like Simon Stone quite negative when that happened, when that was building up. Remember about a week ago, it was like fee agreed. So everyone thought it'd be really quick, and Simon Stone was like, it's not close.
Yeah.
But if and when it happens, and everyone done the whole like, oh, typical Simon Stone being negative and stuff. But the reality is, a week later, we still haven't signed him. And that's because we don't want to hear it. But those things that we've been told were true. There's still complexities regarding his contract and the add-ons and the final bits of the fee. It isn't because Frenkie's going... not sure yet.
Basically, it's a case of Barcelona have come to they want to get 80 to 85 million euros for Frenkie de Jong. They've managed to compromise. United have managed to whittle them down to 56 million initially, 65 million euros. But Barca still want that extra 20 as quickly as possible.
Yes.
So if United say to him, we'll give you 10 when we win a trophy, Barca will go, are you taking the piss? Because when's that going to be? And they need the money. And I know several times we talk about finances here on the channel, people get sometimes a bit angry because they'll be like, oh, Owen, you're not a financial expert. And I'm not. I never said I was. I'm not working at TSB, handing out mortgages or whatever. I'm not. But it's logical sense that they would want the rest of that money as quickly as possible. And also, they want to get Frenkie de Jong's wages off the books as quickly as possible. They're announcing Christensen and Kessie yesterday. Their mindset is, okay, we compromised to that initial fee, but let's not take the mick here. Roy Hodgson says, let's not take the piss.
Yeah.
In the terms of, I want to get that money quickly still.
Yeah.
And United, in their best interest, are going, well, let's maybe stagger this one out a little bit more. The frustrating thing with this deal is you get nothing and then you get big jumps. It's like a life support machine, it feels like. You get nothing, broad agreement, nothing again for ages. And eventually you'll just get add-ons are sorted. And then nothing for a few days. Personal terms, douche, and then medical done. And it's like heartbeat sense.
Official announcement.
Dun, 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 dun. There's still life in this one. That's what it feels like.
Beginning the casualty sentence.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's a fair way to be. And I get it. The emotion. I said it a week ago, so obviously it's another week past and we still haven't signed him, so it's even more relevant now. The fun out of this deal has completely gone. Like, until, I see him officially signed and you can actually revert back to, okay, let's just discuss what a great player he is and what player we've now got. Can't do that yet. So I get it. There is a negative connotation around this transfer and the fun of it and the excitement of it, because getting a player of Frenkie de Jong's quality should be really exciting. The chase to a certain extent should be a little bit exciting, but it's gone past that now.
Yeah.
But again, and this isn't me just trying to defend the club or anything like that. It's just me looking at what I see the situation to be from the same information that you guys were all privy to, from Ornstein, from Romano, from Van der Vaai. How do you say it? Mark de Vaai. How do you say that?
Who are the journalists?
Mark de Vaai. How do you say it?
Vaai.
Mark Vaai. Van der Kraan.
Yeah.
All these top sources close to this deal. Semra Hunter, when we spoke to her, all these sort of people who are really knowledgeable.
Yeah.
From me assessing all of those things and speaking to people in Spain, which I've shown you guys that. Alvaro, that's what I'm saying. That's not me just making it up. I've brought it to the channel so you guys can see for yourself, and we can all make an accurate or an informed opinion. From all of that, I just see it as what it is, which is that there are still, and from hearing it from people from the club who have told me, they're comfortable at the base fee, but there's complexities around Frenkie's contract, and it looks like that's true because we still haven't signed him. So it hurts. It's annoying because you really want because the biggest thing is that, all right, Eriksen, that's excitement. Nice to get him on a free. Malacia, hijack, young kid. It's nice. Martinez, if we can get him, yes, that'd be good.
Probably more. If you're going to say Martinez out of those three, he's probably the most crucial.
Exactly.
Out of the
and we ain't even got him yet. But the one is the Frenkie de Jong. The one. Because obviously people are going to be like, bloody hell, can't come this far. Can't chase him for 2 months and then get to August, big week before the season. Can't get to the end of the tour, what's that, 24th of July, and be like, might have to look at Neves or something.
And also, again, going back to Laporte, it's a case of, one, again, I think posturing of when they're saying we have no intention to sell and it's a salary thing, they're trying to put it off as, well, he could have taken a reduced salary, he didn't. Two, I think it's also just a little push to Manchester United going, hurry up, please. They're also frustrated too.
Exactly. Christopher Berry, big up Christopher Berry, get some of the super chats out now. Christopher Berry says, when did all United fans give a toss what anyone thinks? Club first, regardless of who it is, Stam, Bex, Keane, Ince, Rude and Ronaldo. Basically saying no player's bigger than the club. We've had many, many legends of the club leave, and you just listed a hell of a lot of them there.
Yeah.
And the club survives. I mean, I think Marcel was touching on this, wasn't he? He was coming from that real fan element of what it is to be a Man United fan, which is don't get caught up in any of these players who want to leave. Let them go.
Yeah.
So I hear what you're saying there, Chris. Thank you for the super chat there, bro. AJ says, I'm with you, Flex. Love Ronaldo, but we need to focus on the rebuild. Let him go. Thanks for the memories and good luck. P.S. Rubbish day at work. You guys are my highlight on the drive home. Big up UV from Sydney, Australia. Love that, man.
Love that.
AJ, love that. And anyone watching in Australia who are looking forward to the team arriving in Melbourne and Perth, hope you guys are really excited. It's going to be
all around the world.
And around the world.
Remember when we used to start streams and say, where are you watching from?
Yeah,
and we used to get all of these countries in the live chat.
Yeah.
It still blows my mind.
My advice to anyone who's watching, who's in or will be traveling to Thailand or going to Australia and stuff like that, my advice to you guys would be, if the team's on their way to you and you've got tickets to some of them games, don't let this negativity scupper your experience of seeing the Reds up and close and personal. I mean, I get to see them a lot. You get to see them a lot, and we're in this country, and we take it for granted. You've been to a lot of games in your lifetime, etc. If you are seeing Man United for the first time, or you haven't seen them since the last time it was in Perth, and you're so excited, big up to you in it, because there's sometimes there could be a lot of negativity and stuff like that, and this is all happening. It's important to talk about it. But the love for the club as a fan, you shouldn't lose that, and you should be excited. So, congratulations to any of you guys who managed to get tickets to out there and tour. I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't let any negativity creep in where you're like, oh, don't even want to see him now anyway. Like, really enjoy it. It's a big thing, especially if you don't get to do it often.
100%.
Liam says, big up, guys. Love this channel so much. Thank you, Liam. Appreciate that. Thank you. Big up, man. 100%. Man like Eric says, Ronaldo still needs to give himself time to leave. And there's definitely time for that. I think he's definitely given himself enough time. There's
and we also shouldn't forget, when we're talking about Ronaldo leaving, we shouldn't also forget that United also need to give themselves time to find a replacement. Yeah, exactly. That too. Afghan Papers says, we scored 16 more goals without Ronaldo in the previous season. Can any of you explain why? Ronaldo makes our front three static and doesn't press. I saw that stat yesterday. There was a stat basically saying about goals scored without Ronaldo. And it was quite interesting. And again, this isn't me going on like an agenda. See, we don't need him or anything like that.
It's easy to explain why, though.
But, I think certainly you can say United played, the evidence is there from the season prior. United play slightly different with and without Ronaldo. Because he changes the way that you play. Certainly from, for instance, you look at how United were playing in the season we finished second, we were playing largely counter-attacking football, were we not? We weren't playing that last season. The issue was we weren't playing any style of football last season.
No.
That was the issue.
Yeah.
We pivoted to no style.
Yeah, we remember when at the beginning of the season, obviously I know we had a couple of half-decent results right at the start. So it was Ronaldo's return against Newcastle, we did well. Leeds, we blew them out of the water because that's just Leeds.
Yeah.
Luckily got a win against Wolves.
Wow.
Drew against Southampton.
Same against West Ham.
West Ham was so it was a shit start to the season, let's face it. But it was hidden by the bit of Ronaldo optimism and stuff like that.
And he was scoring goals in those games.
Exactly.
As well.
But I remember saying, flipping heck, Ollie, we can't even counter-attack anymore. It's like we lost Dan James and it was like, we can't even counter anymore.
I remember having some phone calls afterwards. Like we always after the game, we'll have a chat or whatever once everything's sorted and died down, and we would be like, good results there, and we would be like, we were rubbish.
Play shit though. Yeah, 100%. And that was just a common theme for the whole rest of the window of the season. BU says our fans are genuinely lying to themselves with this ambition chat. He has standards and 5 Ballon d'Ors. How does that help us now? We have no ST. Striker. We have no striker, yes. And Aaron Maguire says, free Eriksen will contribute more than 90 million Pogba.
Interesting. We'll see.
It's a big statement. And to be fair, the way that Erik ten Hag wants to play,
I think it's a really shrewd bit of business. I know a lot of people yesterday, I did see people going, oh, United have only signed a guy like a free transfer with heart problems, rah, rah, rah. And I was like, if that's what you think Christian Eriksen is, then I guess more shame on you, because he will prove you wrong this season. 100%. He is way more than that. He certainly is more than what happened to him last year.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
he is certainly more than that. And if you doubt him, well, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, and I think he plays. I don't think he starts every game, but he plays.
You never know.
Yeah,
Look,
true,
he could be on his best form
he
at
could start
Tottenham.
the first couple games, and then I just think he plays a lot more games than like some of the haters outside of everyone seems to within our fan base seems to quite be happy. I saw Danny Murphy and Simon Jordan talking on TalkSport the other day, and they were just basically rubbishing it.
Danny Murphy wants Gareth Southgate to manage Manchester United.
We'll leave that there. Man like Eric says, love the show, guys, but I do think Ronaldo has to give himself time to leave due to the lack of ambition, and also give us time to seek alternatives. Yeah, I get it. I just think it could have come even earlier than this, and there could have been even more time to sort it out. I just think, just as we're about to turn our attentions to start getting a bit excited because pre-season tour is going to come, and the new manager, I just really I'm under no illusions that Erik ten Hag's got stuff to sort out. So he hasn't come here just to have a plain sailing easy ride. He knew how difficult this job was going to be. And in week 2, he's getting it all. Yeah. Ronaldo, how are you going to deal with that? You're a massive football club.
The United experience.
Exactly, straight in. So it is actually, these are big tests for our new manager.
Yeah.
And these are good ways of I think it's interesting for us as fans to see how he deals with these things. How does he talk about these things in the media, which I think of the basis of his first interview will be quite stern, will be quite, you don't need to worry about that. I'm having my conversations. You won't know.
Yeah, when will his next press conference be, do you think? It'll be on tour probably, won't it? Because I recall Mourinho doing press conferences.
Have one before?
I don't know.
We won't have one on the Friday before we go, no?
I recall Van Gaal and Mourinho doing them on tour. Not their first ones, obviously, but they did do them on tour.
Maybe you arrived there.
I remember vividly Van Gaal turning up. It was in LA, and he went, "Sorry, this is late. I was driving in Los Angeles traffic."
Yeah.
When it was meant to be like, an hour and a bit late.
Yeah.
So I think they might arrive to that first destination, which is Thailand, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they arrive and they do something there, maybe.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see with that one. Peter Doyley, thank you for the contribution. Appreciate that. And Jacob Patty as well. Thank you for the contribution as well. Really, really appreciate that. Owen, what we got next?
Terrell Malacia will be confirmed as a Manchester United player today. There was a bit of expectation he was going to be confirmed yesterday. Of course, we saw those pictures all over social media of the desk being set up, the cameras being set up. Usually those pictures are taken when they have pen to paper, and that's how you get those funny images of when the pen isn't touching the paper. Or have you seen those ones when they're doing the signature and it's like pen touching paper, all that funny stuff. But we're going to get those pictures.
Smiling.
Didn't happen yesterday. Reportedly, there might be a slight delay, or there might have been a day delay as they're waiting for Malacia's visa to come through. But in the interim, his comments have actually been, I wouldn't say released, but they are being reported here. So we've got quite a few comments from the new Manchester United left-back. We'll go through a couple of them here. Terrell Malacia says, quote, "Manchester United is one of the biggest clubs in the world. I am proud, but also very grateful that I get this opportunity. I understand that the work on an even higher level only begins now. Becoming better every day and showing at this level that you can measure up. I have worked hard all my career, and this is a reward for that, for me and all the people who have always supported and believed in me." He also talks about talking to Robin van Persie. He said, quote, "I talked to Robin van Persie and Manchester United about the city, about places to live. I also have, also through my childhood friend Chong, with whom I played at Feyenoord, I have heard a lot." He continues by saying, "I want to reach the highest level, so they're goodbye. I will never forget what I owe to Feyenoord, but I love the experience in the stadiums in England. It will be fantastic, and I can't wait. I also feel the tempo and the spirit in the matches will suit my game." And just look at all the fantastic footballers in the Premier League. Ronaldo, De Bruyne, Salah, and in the past, people like Henry, Van Persie, and Van Nistelrooy. Any quotes that stand out to you there?
I like the one where he's basically saying that Ten Hag improves players, makes players better. What was that? he's basically saying that to get you to your next step of your career, he can elevate you.
Yeah.
I like the fact that obviously he's speaking to people who've been at the club before. Even Steve Chong, he said he's one of his friends. And look, Chong actually hasn't had a great time, really.
No.
But, he still obviously had positive things to say. Speaking to Van Persie as well, obviously that final connection is big as well. And the fact that, I like the fact that he's talking about what a warm person Ten Hag is.
Yeah, that's what he said here. Ten Hag is a very good coach and also a warm person. I had a good conversation with him and I have a very good feeling on him. And that good feelings is important because if all goes well, we'll work together for years. I'm looking forward to that. I think I can learn a lot from Eric. He makes players who want to work hard even better.
There you go. And that just encapsulates the manager. We haven't got a lot of pull. We don't. We wouldn't even be in for Frenkie de Jong if it wasn't for Ten Hag. Martinez would already be at Arsenal if it wasn't for Ten Hag. He might still end up at Arsenal because we don't know, but it looks like he's heading to us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see that when the first players come through the door, kind of weird he's done we're getting an interview out on a different platform before.
Yeah,
I don't think Man United would be happy with that.
No, they won't be thrilled because they like to do the whole exclusive first interview.
That would be perfect. Obviously MUTV and all that, but that's the sort of shit that should be on there.
Yeah.
So what made you want to come here, Terrell?
Yeah.
Well, I had a great, but now when he said it's like, yeah, we know, read the thing the other day.
It was in the mirror.
Exactly. But yeah, back to what you asked me. It's positive. It's positive. You want to hear, and I think a lot of, if not all, because we've got a new manager and a lot of the targets we're getting are because of Ten Hag, they're all going to be very complimentary of him. And I know it's the default thing when any new manager signs a player. Why did you want to come here? Well, I had a good chat with Jose or with Ollie or with, it wasn't Ralph because I didn't get anyone, but Van Gaal. I had a good chat with X. They all say it. They all say it. Lukaku said it about bloody Tuchel when he come, and look how that ended up. So look, things happen, but I think it's positive to hear him speaking like that for sure.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully we hear more interviews like that with other players, right?
Yes, 100%. Otis says, Otis is back. Otis says, I'm taking a Faz. We don't need Ronaldo. We got Martial. We got second with Martial and Rashford. They are the GOATs. They are the true GOATs. We can win the league with them as strikers. I wonder if that's if Faz actually said that. I don't think he did, but Otis is saying he's doing the Faz. Aaron Maguire said we had 121 goals altogether last season. At the start of May, we had 68. I think we had a way of playing. Ronaldo came in and that changed. And Afghan Paper says don't just brush over it. How did we score less goals with Ronaldo? Give us your analytical analysis and not your feelings about Ronaldo. I don't think we did. I think you covered that, didn't you?
What
we scored. How did we score less with Ronaldo? Well, I'll go over it from an analytical perspective. When he first came in, I think it's quite easy to see Afghan. To be fair, when he first came in, one of the first things I said is that people's game has to suffer. People's game has to suffer. When he was at Real Madrid, Benzema's game had to suffer. All of the other types of forwards that was there, whether it was James, whether it was Bale, whether it was Isco, it doesn't matter who it was. People's game has to fall back. Now look at Benzema, what he's doing now that he's at the forefront and he's the pinnacle and focal point of their attack. At Juventus, Dybala would have had to do somewhat of the same sort of thing, having to fall back. And essentially, when you sign somebody that's like Ronaldo, who everything has to go through him, and he's an integral figure, the whole team will play differently because players, especially players like Bruno, who's his Portuguese compatriot, always kind of looking for him, always trying to find him. He's the GOAT. That's just what it is. Is the reason why Marcus Rashford played so poorly because Ronaldo is there? I think that's too much of a get out. I think that's too much of a let off for Marcus Rashford because of how bad it actually was to the point of not trying. But across the front three, the evidence is there. The goals were more shared out because you didn't have as a clinical striker as Ronaldo. Having someone like Ronaldo impacts everybody off the pitch, in the changing rooms, and on the pitch. Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
no, I agree. I do think you play differently with Cristiano Ronaldo in your side. I mean, the comparison was so the season with Cristiano Ronaldo, which was last season, was 73 goals. The season prior, which was, of course, without Ronaldo, was 121 goals for Manchester United, which was the most goals that United had scored for the last 13 years. Now, I think there are important caveats to that, one being that was a season without fans. That's an anomaly season. But also, you could argue that in the season with Ronaldo last season, it wasn't just Ronaldo's fault we scored less goals as well. There were departures, there were managerial changes, there were lots of mitigating factors. But I think the one thing that is safe to say is that United had a certain way of playing. Ronaldo coming in does change that. But that's always been the case at every club that he's gone into. Like you said, sacrifices have to be made.
Always.
But I wouldn't say also that the drop-off in goals was... That's all Ronaldo. That's not his fault.
No, 100%.
There are other factors as well, but that was what we were talking about.
We've got about 5 minutes left of the show, so we're going to get through the next couple of topics. Just before I do that, Peter Doyley says, I'm over this player power, honour your contract. And Aaron Maguire has another super chat. Thank you, Aaron Maguire, for getting involved today. You've been really at it today. So is the reward-risk ratio worth it? Thoughts? What, the risk-reward with Ronaldo coming back in the first place, I'm guessing, does he mean? I think you mean that. If you do, you'd have to say in the end, was it worth it? Probably not. But then it exposed a lot of things that were wrong, allowed us to reset. We had the emotion and a bit of happiness of seeing him back and scoring goals. Me as a spectator in the stadium, seeing him score those goals was nice.
And being there when he had his return.
Being there when he had it. It was nice to have those little moments. But overall, you probably, if you was to rate Ronaldo's return,
well,
hasn't been
exactly,
great.
Yeah,
He's done his thing, though.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
Thing as far as top
and
scorer,
that's what he probably thinks. He probably thinks, well, I held up my end of the bargain.
Exactly. And Bradley says, hey, guys, I want to see Martial give him more time. Dude was banging in the first season. Then Ibra came and took his position and number. Just needs love. Okay, I know a lot of people would probably disagree with that, but fair play. There are a lot of people also who want to see Martial give him more time. Owen, let's finish off on the last couple of two topics quickly. Martinez on tour.
Yes, Lisandro Martinez has reiterated his desire to leave Ajax during a meeting on Monday, and Manchester United ideally want to wrap up the move before departing for Thailand, which of course is on Friday. Although Arsenal are battling for a signature, that comes from Laurie Whitwell and Paul Ballas from The Athletic. So United look like they remain in pole position for Martinez. We know, of course, as well that there was a delegation over the weekend in London. Discussions were had between Manchester United officials and Ajax officials such as Klaas-Jan Huntelaar. So Martinez really wants that deal. He really wants to leave Ajax, but I wouldn't say Arsenal are out of the race just yet, but United still remain the favourites. There was sort of conflicting reports, wasn't there, before about bids going in, bids being made, etc. But it looks like we would still be the favourites. And hopefully, if they're saying a deal can be wrapped up before departing to Thailand, that's Friday. We're on Tuesday now. So what we're saying in the next couple of days, do you think that could happen in the next couple of days? That seems very fast for me.
It does. Got to believe it, though, innit? We've got to get behind it. Well, we don't have to be fair. The track record would suggest we wouldn't, so I'll take that back. But I think that could get done.
Before Friday? Holding up the shirt?
On the plane.
What
are we on Tuesday?
To get up, to be on the plane by Friday.
We need to get a deal done today. If you don't get it done today, then no.
You want a Here We Go today?
Yeah. If we get a Here We Go today, or exclusive with the siren from Ornhub. Can't believe you've wrote me. From Ornstein, then maybe. But if we don't, he might join us in Melbourne instead, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the last thing, United Dybala interest really, really quickly.
Yeah, this comes from Gianluca Di Marzio, who is saying that Paulo Dybala has started to evaluate foreign options in England, with Manchester United being one of them. They are struggling, of course, United are, with the Cristiano Ronaldo situation, and it could be that Dybala is being considered as a replacement. You feeling Dybala as a Ronaldo replacement?
Been fully sold on Dybala. I remember when we was going to get him just before Bruno. There was loads of astronomical wages between, I think it was us and Spurs, were deliberating, and it just didn't happen. And I've just never seen it with him. I think that I've seen glimpses of him be really good, but I just don't get that vibe from him. Could be completely wrong. Maybe a lot of people disagree with me, but I wouldn't. Nah, not me personally. But if it happened, it happened. To get behind it, I suppose. Just quickly, Gary Neville has said in the last few minutes, the only important factor with the Ronaldo situation is that it's dealt with decisively and quickly. This can't be a saga that takes the focus away from Erik ten Hag bedding in period for the next 2 months. And that's exactly what we've been saying.
Yeah.
I just want it done quick. get it over with, whatever the solution is, because the real focus should be on Erik ten Hag, and the real excitement should be on this new manager who we're really excited to see, and the games, and tactically how we're going to play.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree.
Obviously, the players will come, hopefully. Guys, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Just to let you guys know, there won't be a Flex and KG show tonight at 6 o'clock. KG wasn't available. We'll be doing it tomorrow at 6 p.m. instead. So apologies for that. I know a lot of you guys always look forward to that show. So I thought I'd let you know, because last time I didn't let you guys know. Oh. Everyone was saying, where is it? And rightly so, because we put it up front center every day, Tuesday at 6 p.m. So I just wanted to let you guys know. So apologies for that, but we'll be back very, very soon with more updates as and when we get them. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Did we get 500 likes? Yeah, we did. We can nearly get 600 before we go. We're at 580. So as I wrap up and say and remind you that you can join the United View Members Club if you would like to. Link is in the video description below. Remember, you can try and get us to 600 likes as we're on our way out. We're out of here, guys. Peace.